All right, shut up, Nobod.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 33. We are 1/4 of the way to 100. I'm your host tonight, Dark One Dre, and here with me we've got Chaos Mana,
Yeah.
Wait,
Mr. Fusion.
Just a quick correction. We're more than a quarter of the way. That's a third of the way now.
yeah.
Did I not say third?
No, you said quarter.
I thought I was thinking third.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
So I said, wait. Things aren't right.
We said shut up.
Things weren't right.
Things weren't right with the universe.
Everything is wrong.
It must be fixed.
I apologize.
I'm here too. So is Ray.
Yeah, I've got to introduce Ray before I introduce you. She's more important. We also have Ray here.
I just did. I did it first. You weren't doing your job.
And
Ray.
And Nobod, who just won't shut up.
I'm not even here.
God, can't even get through the introduction.
Well, the good news is you're able to get through the introduction without going all digitized on us.
Yes, it's very good news, everybody. Robot Dark is dead. I've fixed that problem.
Smashed it with a hammer.
He submerged him in molten lava.
I wish.
Getting rid of things Minecraft style.
Yeah, it's a disappointment that you didn't do that.
What?
You failed us, Dark.
Digitally put myself into Minecraft and then sunk my headphones into lava?
Yes.
You should have been better.
You should have held on to the headphones, and technology allows you to do that.
Yeah, I could do the Tron thing. That would be something. To be like scanned Tron style into Minecraft. That would be
Oh, here's a
scary
good
as
question. If that was the course we're really going into, just nut job land, but if that was technologically possible, which game would you let yourself be submerged into?
I would want to be God in one of the SimCity games.
Well, that's true. You are God in the game, in a sense.
Well, that's no.
No, well, I was gonna say, but I mean, the point is
saying.
being a character in a game. So, like, if you wanted to be Link, let's say in Zelda, you know.
I thought you'd be yourself. I thought that was the whole idea of being digitized into the game.
That's true, but then.
Well, you could either be yourself, or you could take on like a different digital form once you're in the universe.
Like, the weakest answer would be I'd be in the Sims game, but that's kind of pointless.
No, you'd be in the Sims game and keep on working till you develop a way to be in a game.
It's a never-ending cycle.
I bet it would be kind of fun to be in a Sims game, because when you're playing the Sims, it's like the game is actually playing you. You are your Sims bitch while you're playing that game.
You do not play Sims. The Sims play you.
Yeah,
they
do.
Things happening when you put them on the computer to do their homework. They're not doing their homework. They're playing you.
Will. Yeah. So it could be kind of fun, to get to be the one playing the player. They think they're in control, but really they're bending over backwards to make you happy.
It's very true, because you have to educate yourself in the game to get a better job, and then you have to go to work, and then you come home and eat and clean. God, now that I think about it, that game is just so mentally draining when you really think that it's.
It really is. It's kind of horrible. The best part of those games is the decorating, the houses.
Oh,
yeah, that's the best part.
That's the best part. Is more the design. The
all these shingles.
No, the actual Sims games, when it's just you you're leading a person, that was just so boring. And I had one that was like when you were driving a car, it was like 15 scenes of the car driving up to the center of the screen and then driving away.
No one wants to visit.
Yeah, that game is best played when you have like three people that you're simulating at the same time, so you get the strange relationship dynamics. So you have one sim that falls in love with the other sim, and then they cheat on that sim with the other sim, and then they all hate each other, and then they all decide to make up and have a big orgy.
See, that was really
what
weird.
What are you doing in Sims?
No, he's telling the truth. In the first Sims, in Sims 1, you you build this house, and then you get married, and then you have neighbors that start showing up at the house, right? Well, if it's an opposite sex character that keeps coming over, you can end up having an affair with them. It's so weird. It's just so odd, because they come and they hang out. If they spend too much time with one particular character in your home, then that can happen, and it's just. Plus, I don't know.
Yeah, if you leave them to their own devices, they will do shit you don't want them to do.
Well, how can you tell if they're doing something? Like, is it censored, or how can you tell?
Well, have you never played the game?
No.
Yeah.
What? Well, it depends on if you're playing on PC. You can get the little sensor blurs to go away, and you can give your Sims working genitalia, which I may be speaking from experience. It's
yeah, no,
makes it a little bit more realistic.
I never went that far, yo. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wow. You can do all sorts of stuff. I had this one chick who she lived in a house with two other guys and one other chick, and she wound up having sex with the two guys. Had three babies from one from each guy and one from her boss at work. She had an affair with her boss at work, and then they all wound up hating her. And then she got into a lesbian relationship with the other chick, and they all raised 3 children together. It was really weird.
That is some scandalous shit. Wow. I mean, like
for a time, the boss even moved into the house, and then he's like, "I've had enough of this shit." He left.
I can just picture the blah 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 blah, blah just leaves.
What is this?
You see, and I thought I felt bad because the worst thing I did in that game was you can actually create a ghost that haunts your house. Do you know how?
Yeah,
you
kill off one of your
Take one of your characters you create in the house, and you go into design mode, and you take a little one room that he can't move around in, and then you go into design mode, build 4 walls to where they can't get out, and they starve to death, and then they turn into a skeleton, and then the skeleton rots away, and then you can go back into design mode, remove the walls, and his ghost will start haunting the house. That's some creepy shit. And I thought I felt bad. You're over there talking about some type of, I don't know, Lifetime movie, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of fun to also not let them pee when they have to pee, and so they do the potty dance, and then they wet themselves and they excrete that mysterious blue puddle. And so, it's like you'd think it would be yellow, but it's a blue puddle.
They drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Wait, they don't drink any water. What?
And they won't even clean it up. Like they wet themselves, and then they're dirty, and so they go and get in the shower. And so one of the other Sims walks over, sees the puddle. They have this little thought bubble that pops in their head, like I don't like to see this here.
Yeah.
And then they take a mop and they mop up this puddle of pee. Like no big deal. This happens every day.
Well, and he's right. But the thing with the very first Sims was it was very not glitchy, but it was annoying in the character scripting in that you had to be precise on clicking them, making them go to the bathroom, and making them because they would just leave shit lying around. They would just pee on the floor like nothing, man.
Oh, no.
And if they're trying to walk past each other, they just will not care. They'll just stand there and wait for the other Sim to move, and they will never move.
Yep.
So you can have 5 Sims trapped in an interlocking eternal showdown.
Yeah. Sims would die when you'd have too many of them in a room and they could not get out. They would all be sitting there conflicting with each other's interest, and they would stand there waving at you until they just dropped dead of starvation.
Yep.
It's like, seriously? Just walk through the door.
And
you
they
don't
will
have
tell
to
you.
die.
They will tell you.
It's the principle of the thing.
They sit there waving their arm going, wow.
And they have no basic survival instinct in that game.
Don't let them near a pool.
Yeah,
Dear God, don't let them near a pool.
Take away the ladder.
No, seriously. If you do not tell them to get in and out of the pool, and you leave them alone out by the pool, they will fucking die. They will drown themselves.
They'll swim around until they're tired,
Yeah.
and then they'll start complaining, and they'll get stressed out, and then the next thing you know, they're flailing in the water and going, they're dead. And then they come back to haunt you.
Such a wonderful game, huh?
In Sims 3, you can bring them back, and then they die again really quickly because they're old.
Did you do that alien kidnapping thing?
No.
Oh, that was the other thing that happened in that household where the woman had the 3 babies. I got that telescope that lets you look really deep into space. Because it gives you lots of bonuses as far as your knowledge goes, I think is what it is.
And money. You just get money out of nowhere.
One of the guys got abducted by aliens and impregnated. So he wound up having an alien baby.
So is this Sims 2?
Did the baby have higher stats?
Or Sims 3?
I don't remember. if it was Sims 2 or Sims 3.
Because in Sims 1, you can't do any of that shit. It's just...
No, I know. I didn't like the first one. It was not that.
It
But I
was
played the second and
so
third
basic.
ones a lot. But yeah, so the worst part of this was having all those children in the house at one time. I built a special room to hold the children, and the adults never slept.
Well, who needs sleep?
They would not sleep, and so like they were missing work. One of them got fired, and
See,
always in a bad
that's
mood.
the annoying part about that game, in that if you want to, like, when the character goes off to work for a few hours, they come home, you have to feed them, go to the bathroom, take a shower, do all that stuff, and then they have to do their other things around the house, because if not, they get bored or whatever. And the next thing you know, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You're like, shit, they have to be at work in 2 hours, and they try to go to sleep, and then they don't want to go to sleep, and then they end up falling asleep, and then they sleep through work time, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah, you're like, bitch, I'm telling you to do this for your own good. Why don't you listen to your master?
Yeah, and they're like, no, like, just go to fucking sleep.
Repent.
God damn it.
Well, what if they made one with modern version, so it was like even harder to get them to go to sleep because it was copying like how many people just stay on the internet?
Oh no, they do that. It's not just like with the internet, but if there's a kid there, like they'll wake up in the middle of the night, even when the baby's not crying, because they're worried that their baby may be crying, and they'll walk in there and shit their chuck on it, and they'll wake the baby up. They'll fucking wake the damn baby up by picking it up and playing with it. Be like, bitch, the baby was sleeping. You don't ever get any sleep. Why the hell did you wake it up? Oh, you're killing me.
Just put the cradle right
See,
next to the bed.
just talking about this is going to give me a panic attack. I can't play this game. I played it like a little bit in college, and I definitely cannot play it now. I would lose my fucking mind. Seriously, just the logistics of the gameplay, just having to do all that again. Ugh. I don't even know why I played the first one to begin with.
I liked the games a lot better on console than I did on PC, actually. It had a much better soundtrack.
The only Sims game I really actually got into was SimTown, and it was only because it was just like a casual, just designing a little garden, basically.
Is that the Wii one?
No, it's a old, like,
Lame.
I don't remember which computer version, but it was an old,
Sorry, Chaos, we're gonna have to vote you off the island.
What if there's a text script Sims?
Well, what about
No.
Sim Theme Park?
Your Sim needs the peak.
Sim
Go
Theme
peak!
Park was
No,
okay,
it
but
doesn't want to.
it was no Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, I liked the Sim. I liked Sim Theme Park, and they also had Sim Coaster, which were both made by Bullfrog. I liked those pretty well, but yeah, it was really ugly to look at. Lots of jagged edges.
Yeah.
So anyway, what we were talking about before the podcast started was the PlayStation 4, and it's. Did we decide that it launched today? Did we find out for sure?
It launched today because they sent all people who pre-ordered, like, it's shipping in the mail today.
Yeah. Today is the launch day.
The big PS4 launch.
Now,
And
there's
anyway-
already videos popping up on Kotaku, like how to install a much larger drive on the PS4, because like similar to the Xbox One, it's going to come with a default 500 gig hard drive, but unlike the Xbox One, you can remove the drive without any issues on the PS4. And on their site, they're already showing how to install a solid state drive.
Xbox One.
The solid state would be handy.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people would need so much storage space on a console when, like, you're not going to store your media on there. You might download games on there, but you're not going to store anything else.
No, you say that now, but with the Xbox One, since it's running the I think 2 or 3 dual OS or a tri OS, I don't remember. Anyway, it can record Twitch on demand. Like, so while you're playing a game, you can immediately start broadcasting on your Twitch channel from the box. So, well, I mean, it's going to have to store data, like some of that, the actual video, onto the drive. So I figure people are going to eat up their 500 gig hard drive pretty quick on the Xbox One.
What I heard about how the Twitch streaming directly works is that it, like, doesn't save it automatically.
Whoa!
What the fudge?
No, it's out loud.
What the fudge?
Cool.
Sweet.
I thought somebody was about to get stabbed.
So I'm gonna picture in my head that who was that? Your father or was that your brother? Who was that? Who was that? Nobot.
That was my dad.
All right, I'm gonna picture in my mind that he had a spider crawling on him, and he freaked out like a little girl. That's what I'm gonna picture in my head right now.
I thought he was
Not
coming in to
really.
beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
the
that's what
truth
happened.
be told.
Okay.
But anyway, so what we were saying is, what
You didn't
were you
sound
saying,
angry
Chaos,
enough
about
for
the Chaos? What were you saying about the recording?
Oh yeah,
of
it doesn't it doesn't save it like save your broadcast. Like
Uh-huh.
you can't save the settings for that. So in order like for what Achievement Hunter does, like that sort of recording, you'd have to have something else recording
So you
from
will
the
still
Twitch feed.
so you will still need a recorder, like one of those video recorders.
Well, yeah, either that or a way to get around it. But if you did it like that, it would be very poor video quality
Yep.
because it's like a secondary layer.
Mhm.
And what Twitch is, it's not that high detail anyway. So they're gonna have to work around that, and also the fact that the PS4 is locking out HDMI recording.
Yep.
Well, that's handy.
Well, and the Achievement Hunter people have brought up the fact that you can plug the PS4's video feed into the Xbox, and then that into your recorder, which would allow you to record HDMI.
It seems like there would be an easier way to do that.
Well, yeah, but
Capture
it's just
cards?
funny that you
Wait.
have to use the
I thought
Xbox
Microsoft
for that.
I'm sorry. I thought Sony last week reneged the HDMI
They did?
blockage. I could have sworn I saw something about that either last
Ooh.
week or 2 weeks ago.
This is a good opportunity for feedback. Please, anybody listening, tell us what's going on with the PlayStation 4 and its HDMI bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a
But,
delay. They're gonna hear you in about 5 minutes. Well, wait for
It's,
them.
it's all good. In a few minutes, well, actually, if that's true, right now they're hearing your dad threaten to beat the shit out of you. So,
Oh, goodness.
Oh, he wasn't talking.
I know he wasn't, but so yeah, the PS4's shipping out. Microsoft's Xbox One. I don't even know the date, just because I decided I'm gonna definitely wait at least until after the New Year. So.
Yeah, I don't really care. I've not been keeping track this time around.
The
It's like,
22nd.
whenever it's out, I'm not.
Whenever
still
it's
not gonna
out
get it.
and it's gone through a nice amount of price reduction.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the price reduction. At least get the beta testing out of the way.
Oh,
Everyone's
yeah,
gonna-
that's even more.
Yeah,
important.
because I mean, on Gizmodo and Kotaku, they have all these day one bugs and stuff that they're going to be fixed. It's like I don't feel like dealing with that bullshit with the Xbox One, so I'll wait a few months for them to iron that out. Similar to the first 360, how everybody, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people were red ringing right away. They ended up
Yeah.
having to warranty a lot of units because of the heating issue. They took care of that, but it sounds like, yeah, I think I'll wait for the first wave of consoles to get out. So
Yeah, I think that's the better option. I'm in no hurry.
What? You're not speeding to the store right now in the middle of the podcast?
Like I haven't even played my Xbox 360 in like weeks. It's really sad. My sister was actually over here. Something happened with her water.
Huh?
So she and her girlfriend, they stayed in Ken and I's guest room for a couple of nights, and she sat here and she actually played the BioShock Infinite game that I got from Nobot, and who Nobot got from you, Mr. Fusion.
yeah.
Like, I haven't even played it yet, and my sister has pretty much beaten the game.
All the achievements?
I don't know if she's going for the achievement. She's just playing through the game.
Well, that would take
And-
a little bit more than just a simple, like sit down and play sort of thing.
Yeah, well, she had a few days, and I let her
well,
take
yeah,
it home
that.
because she still had like a third of the game left to go or something like that. She was getting towards the end, but she didn't get a chance to finish it before she had to go home. I'm like, oh yeah, you can borrow it. I'm not going to need it until this weekend. I'll probably maybe want to play it, hopefully this weekend if I've got time.
Maybe think about turning it on, if possible.
Yeah, I need to play more games.
You sound so depressed.
I know.
I used to love playing games. I don't play them anymore. It's tragic.
I will admit I've been kind of since Extra Life, I kind of burnt out, so I haven't
Well,
really.
yeah,
You
when you
gamed
play
yourself
25
out.
hours in a row, you're that's a little excessive.
Yeah, I came home and during the following week, I come home after work and I turn on Grand Theft Auto and I sit there for about 10 minutes and I'm just looking at the screen. I'm like, yeah, I'm
You,
not gonna do this right now.
actually, now that you bring it up, that's pretty much what happened with me with Skyrim. I played like 140 hours of that, and
That's it.
like, and I'm like, okay, I need a break, and so I took a break. I'm now up to like 220 hours or somewhere in there, and I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. I'm not really into it anymore, and so I'm waiting for that drive to come back. I'm like, all right, I want a video game. It just hasn't happened yet.
I have been, I have been playing Deadpool,
Mhm.
Ooh, how
and
do you like that?
it's actually very funny. The voice acting's great. The gameplay is a little redundant, and the shooting
Yeah, I
controls
heard about that.
the shooting controls are very weak. I mean, like they're
Oh
very
no.
Grand Theft Auto 3. They're just they stick too hard.
Mm.
But overall, that aside, it's the first real Deadpool game, or actually, it's the first real anything Deadpool sans comic, and I like it. I think it's funny. I mean, that's the main thing for me. It's just the character is, he breaks that wall and he gets you involved in the game. I mean, you get like 3 sets of achievements just for when you start the game. You get like 100 points just for turning on the game and
It's like,
sitting in his house.
achievement unlocked. You turned on the console.
Yep, exactly. I mean, seriously,
Achievement unlocked. You hit the X button.
you go and pet the dog, and then it
you
gives you
you
the
get
achievements.
all 1,000 points just by pressing all the buttons.
But it's an entertaining game to say the least.
Did it have a good like soundtrack?
Uh, I'm gonna say no.
Hmm.
There's a couple of good songs, but it's very redundant, very short list of songs, so you hear them over and over again. Same thing
Oh,
with
that's
his,
a pity.
if you know anything about the Deadpool character, he's totally batshit crazy, and he he's an assassin that just he'll do anything to kill people, but he kind of has fun doing it. Like if you ever played him in Marvel vs. Capcom, when he pulls out his guns, he starts saying bang 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 while he's shooting you. I mean, that's the type of character he is. In the game, he does shit like that. Like if you headshot a character, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was aiming for your balls." Like he just makes little comments, but there's a very short list of dialogue, so you kind of run through it with about halfway through the
Oh
game.
no,
So
so he's
I
just like,
don't
for the 5th
understand
time
why.
he's gonna say that comment.
yeah, you're like,
I
okay.
don't
So.
understand why games why developers when they develop these games where they make the main characters say things repeatedly, like why they don't give them a bigger um, pool to draw these words from. Like give them like 100 different sayings, not 15.
Yeah.
So that
Either that or have like a set amount and like don't replay ones over and over, I guess. Though it is interesting if you like if you lost and you had to restart. At least that makes a little bit more sense. Why he'd say the same thing, but still.
it's like I can point out a game that was a really big offender of this was the on the original Xbox, and I think it was also on the PlayStation 2. They made a Nightmare Before Christmas game, and every single time Jack used his weapon, it was this like green goo stuff called Bone Robber or Soul Robber. It was called Soul Robber. He would yell Soul Robber. So every single time you attacked, he yelled Soul Robber, Soul Robber, Soul Robber. You're like, shut the fuck up! I want the enemy to just like attack and kill you because you won't shut the hell up. And I am a stickler for like with songs that repeat too much. It drives me crazy and it kind of makes me homicidal. So that really just ground my nerves. I had to take the game out. I couldn't play the game
You
because
have to take the
it
game
was
out,
so annoying.
snap it in half.
Well, yeah.
I gave it to my sister.
It's
She
like
she wound
Madden.
up beating the game, but it was torture. I couldn't do it.
It's
I
like
had
when
to stop
Madden
playing.
football gets very redundant. Like the dialogue, like the actual dialogue between the play-by-play and the color commentators are. It's a very short list.
Yeah.
It's changed in that that each character, like each player on the field, like the main players on the field, they'll say their names and they'll talk about them a little bit, like their stories. But other than that, like the actual play-by-play, it's very a short list of actual calls, and you run through them over and over again. And I'm a big sports guy because I worked in sports for a long time. Play-by-play is I'm very critical of it in that the play-by-play of a sports game, that person has one job to do, and to go outside the lines of actually calling the game in an entertaining manner, but not being a personality. It's very limited, like a list of people that I like. One of them is Gus Johnson, in that he's a guy that does a lot of football and basketball. He's very over the top, like everything he gets excited about, which is cool because that's his style and it gets you into the game. Well, they had him on Madden a couple years ago, and he's known to like, oh my god, like he makes calls like that. And in the game, though, it's very inconsistent because in the game, if you throw like a 90-yard bomb, like a huge touchdown pass, instead of it being, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, "Touchdown, Titans." The randomizer was just so fucked up, and
you do like 2 steps.
Yeah, and if you throw like a 5-yard pass, wow, are you kidding me?
Wow,
really?
That
do
doesn't
that?
surprise me though. They shit one of those games out every single year, so they have like the minimal amount of effort behind it. So that's what I would expect.
I didn't buy this year's 25th anniversary of the game. I've gotten tired of it, and then EA, Maxis, their whole shit, the way they treated people with SimCity.
I still haven't bought the new SimCity just because of that. I want to, but I'm like, I still have a bad taste in my mouth.
I've grown really tired of
happen.
EA, and the other big games I play, sports games I play, are like baseball and basketball, but 2K Sports does a much better version of basketball with NBA 2K. It's much better than NBA Live, and usually the play-by-play is much better because the guy on their game is Kevin Harlan, who's one of my favorite current guys. But anyway,
I so don't know who that is.
yeah, I know. I'm trying not to go too much into the sports side of it, but in terms of the game side of it, the video game, it's just like EA Sports. They really don't give a shit. They know a bunch of fucking bro douchebags.
They don't give shit about anybody.
Well, they know that a bunch of bros are going to buy Madden every year, and a bunch of brothers are going to buy Madden every year.
Have you gotten the new Madden?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't really care.
Let's go do manly things.
Manly
Madden.
things.
Hey, Madden's great.
Madden has been the same game the past 8 years. No, Bod.
It'd be better if they just released
No,
DLC, or not DLC, updates to adjust with the times.
Different stories for the Dynasty.
I've got to say, anybody that buys the Madden games like every single year, they're like the epitome of stupid, really, because they're being sold the exact same game every single year with slightly different packaging. Like,
what's the point of having different? You could literally not change a thing, just change their names and maybe their faces.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all they're doing. It's like they're just changing character skins. They're selling you a $60 game that's exactly like the one before with new character skins.
Yeah, Dark, but the big thing for the average, the bottom line consumer is roster updates. That's the only thing. Like, these roster updates change because players retire, they get traded, they sign with new teams. So that's
nothing that couldn't have been done with downloadable content of the year before.
Oh, I know that, but they're not. Why charge a person $10 for it when you can charge them $60 and they'll pay for it?
I know. And this is exactly why I say that anybody that's willing to spend that type of money every year is stupid, because there's no justifiable reason to do that. That should just be downloadable content for $10, not $60.
It also helps that maybe not most of the actual main gamers who get games on I guess you could call a regular basis. It's the people that play sports games might be people that only play that and nothing else, so that don't really understand the whole updating thing. So when it's a new version, it's the new one, I guess I have to get this one now.
Well, that's kind of similar to the one game that I've played and I have played every now and then. I just don't get into it. Are racing games.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
they're all the same.
I like racing games too. What's wrong with you guys?
No, it's okay. Let me ask you that.
I like racing games.
You're going to play an extended part of this podcast tonight because I'm going to ask you, and you're going to have to be very thorough about your explanation. How do you not get tired of fucking making left turns nonstop for 3 or 4 hours? It's the same damn thing, and the soundtrack's usually only about 10.
You're playing a NASCAR game? Who listens to the soundtrack? You turn it off your subwoofer.
But then you don't get to hear the car being revved up. You don't get to hear the tires screeching that you
go
paid
into the options and turn off.
You saved up to pay $10,000 for professional white walls. You can't hear them screeching, so you have to have that turned up. It's just okay.
It depends. Well, it depends on if it's one of those racing games that also has like not most wanted. Hot Pursuit 2, I think it was. One of the it actually was most wanted.
Awesome.
That had like a nice like police mode, like more than just simple running around in circle racing.
Oh my god, you guys
like
do
that
not
can
know
be
about
like
racing games, do you?
you know, Burnout does it really good. Just the whole kind of causing disasters with cars, crashing into this or pushing the police car off the ledge.
You could do that with Midtown Madness. That was pretty fun.
That part of it's enjoyable. Maybe not strict racing over and over, but when you can do other things, that gets kind of fun.
Well, and I think that's probably my problem with any game. There is redundancy in any game, even in Grand Theft Auto. You're basically running the same damn missions over and over in just different skins. Every game's like that, so I guess that's why I can only play for a couple hours before I'm like, okay, I'm going to play something different. And
what about Minecraft?
I can never get tired of Minecraft.
Oh hell!
But see, the thing with
Are
Minecraft
you really
is,
hate Madden games?
no, I'm not gonna go complete hate. I play them.
That's what I was doing.
I just don't jump in wholeheartedly into them. Same thing with Minecraft. I play Minecraft, but that's mostly because I get to just kind of turn my mind off, and I'm listening to something else like a podcast or watching a movie while I'm doing it, so it kind of takes my mind away. It's more like a distraction. It's not really like, I'm gaming. I'm digging in the bottom of this fucking lava pit for iron ore, and that's my goal in life. It's not really. No.
Your goal in life, you must get the
I
iron.
must find the iron.
Must find diamond. If that were the case, I'd go crazy.
Iron.
It'd also be funny if the podcast that you would listen to was a loop of the part of this podcast where you were talking about Minecraft.
No, it's usually I'm listening to shows like Howard Stern or things like that. Other
I love
things.
putting on a good TED Talk when I'm playing Minecraft.
Uh-huh.
Just fucking awesome.
I'll pop in like Archer on Netflix or something like that. So.
Sky does Minecraft where you're playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Fusion.
Yes.
We were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you were talking to Nobot about it too. We were gonna talk about what our top 3 most overrated music groups were.
Yeah, I'm the one that posted that in the thread today.
Davey,
Black Veil Brides.
I think it was yesterday. Indy and I were discussing it on Twitter. She
That's
mentioned,
who it was.
yeah, we were talking about. She said a friend introduced her to the Grateful Dead the other day, and she goes, "Whatever." And to me, the two most overrated bands of influence in pop culture or just music in general are, to me, the Grateful Dead and Pink Floyd. And she agreed with me, but it just kind of popped in my head. It's like, what are the 3 bands that, not just bands, but musical performers,
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
rappers, whatever you think.
Lil Wayne.
What's that?
Jay-Z.
You think Jay-Z's overrated?
Jay-Z's way overrated.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask Nobody. What are your 3 groups?
My 3 favorite?
No, the 3 most overrated in your mind.
Oh, jeez. Most.
I'll come back to you. Dark, what about you?
Thank you.
I actually had time to give it some thought. Based on what I've heard and the stuff that annoys me the most, I would say probably Bob Marley, Queen, and Nirvana.
Queen?
Really, Queen? Why?
Really?
The guy's voice just pisses me off.
Okay, so it's Freddie Mercury.
We can't be
that
friends,
turns
Dark.
Ooh.
It's over.
We were friends?
Dark!
No.
I see. For me,
Okay.
it's for me the 3 are Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, and Nirvana. Now, let me clarify by this. Nirvana, they were all good bands, but I think for me, especially Nirvana, in that they came about when I was a kid, and in junior high, and people claimed that they were such this groundbreaking band. They were groundbreaking in that it was a shift in momentum in terms of rock music. They came and they just kind of shifted things to the grunge era, and people assumed that because of that they were great in what they did, and they were an okay rock band. They weren't like blow you away great.
Yeah. I like
I got my list.
one song by them, and that's "Smells Like Teen Spirit." It's the only song I like by them.
Mine is Rape Me. In Utero was a really good album. I will admit that. But like I said, even though it was a good album, they weren't as great as people make them out to be. They're pivotal in rock music. Like when you talk about the history of pop music,
icon.
yeah, they shifted the momentum from hair band rock, and they turned things to a different, in a different direction, which is great, and I appreciated it because as a kid growing up in the, at the tail end of the 80s, early 90s, you had to deal with that bullshit called, glam rock, and they kind of shifted things to where actually hard rock was able to kind of put out a lot of good creative content. So I say that, but they're on that list. Pink Floyd, oh god, they're just, I can't stand listening to them. I think when people think that they're great, it's not very good music to me.
What are some Pink Floyd songs? I'm sure I've heard them, but I'm just not that familiar.
Money,
Mind-numbing.
Mind-numbing, The Wall,
Tedious.
That one song.
Blow
that
Your
one
Brains
song
Out.
by that one guy.
and
Yeah.
people calling
I
Pink Floyd The
probably
Wall
don't like them,
one of the
and
greatest
that's probably
albums
why
ever.
I'm not familiar with their songs.
Yeah.
Breaking the Wall.
And then Grateful Dead, they're I don't know, a folk band to me. That's what they
I have
sound
my
like.
list,
People,
I say it.
I don't know, their deadheads
Hello?
follow them and they think they're so great. That's fine. I'm not telling people what to like and dislike. I'm just saying for me, I really didn't, and I really never enjoyed the Grateful Dead and never found why people latched onto them. Maybe it was the community, kind of like what Dave Matthews does. Their little community, and I like Dave Matthews to a certain extent, but
Ooh, I don't.
I don't.
when you're discussing like greatest musicians ever, they're definitely nowhere near the top of that list. But anyway, Chaos, your turn. 3.
I don't know enough to say.
He
that,
knows nothing.
Okay,
You've had all this time
I
while we
know.
were talking to think about these overrated bands. And you've got
I don't
nothing.
think
Well,
you
I
can
mean,
name
there's
5
the
bands.
obvious one about like, One Direction and stuff like
Yeah.
Hey, One Direction came out with a good song recently.
that. A
Just
good
one.
song.
Just
Yeah.
one.
If the song itself is a catchy and good song, that's one thing, but it doesn't mean that they're the best band ever.
Yeah, but there's some people who have
Well, if
never
we're
made
going
a
that
good
route,
song.
I'll tell you who else is overrated. NSYNC is overrated, and Justin
come
Timberlake is
on.
overrated.
You know they're
No.
crazy.
Okay, so who are your 3 overrateds then, Nobod? Now that
Jay-Z,
you know.
Black Veil Brides, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot
I can
Chili
understand Red Hot Chili Peppers, but Black Veil Brides, seriously, like they're not that popular.
Yeah, who
They're
the fuck
horrible.
those people are?
I don't think they're that bad.
They're horrible.
But, and they're not popular. How can they be overrated when they're not even popular?
They are rather popular. They're over,
He's saying they shouldn't
overrated isn't
even
exactly
be.
about
They
popularity.
shouldn't
It's
even be
about
a
being
name that you
rated
know.
over what they actually are. And there are people that are just complete.
The small superfan group.
It's actually also below.
Let me ask you guys, what about Van Halen? Where do you put Van Halen in terms of greatness?
Yeah, neither.
I would put them just below NSYNC on the overrated list.
Really?
Leave him
What do you think
alone.
Yeah.
Mr. Simmons, what do you think of Big Time Rush?
I don't like it. I haven't been forced to listen to Big Time Rush though, so I can't say
So
that
for the
they're
podcast
overrated.
listeners
They're
right
awesome.
now, I'm going to pull up a video. of
No,
Big
let me link you. Let me link you to the right song for this.
Time.
No. I'm pretty sure I don't like their music. So I've got several Pandora stations, and one of them has tried to play Big Time Rush on it, and I think I've disliked all their songs.
Oh my god. You don't even know what you're doing. I feel like you're kind.
Uh-huh.
They are you.
And
What's that
and
supposed to mean?
What kind would that be, Nobod?
I didn't think that one through. But they're just for you. They are for you.
So it's
They're for me.
so you mean to say BTR is for him, but Queen isn't? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, no, bud. Explain
Because
yourself.
Queen,
Queen
he may
isn't
not
for
like them,
anyone.
but Queen actually they were a very good live band.
They're awesome.
They did do well live. I have seen some of their
Freddie
concert stuff.
Mercury is like
they
the
do
gold
well.
standard of performers.
They're awesome, but they're not for anyone.
If
They're
you don't
really
like his
awesome.
voice, it's fine.
And
But,
everyone should listen to them.
I mean, like he was a great performer.
Ooh, I have to modify this list. AC/DC needs to go on that
Oh
list.
yeah,
Well, that's because every song sounds the same.
and Kiss.
Fuck yeah, and that guy's voice, it's like listening to nails on a chalkboard. I didn't think of it before because I try and block it out of my mind. God,
Modern
You tried to
whenever a song
partition that
comes
part
on,
out.
I just want to put earplugs in or bash my head against a wall or
Or
something.
do
Make
all
it
the
stop.
above.
How about modern
Oh.
underrated people?
Underrated.
Underrated.
Um,
Ozzy Osbourne. These days is underrated.
what?
He's awesome.
What?
He's awesome.
He can't count as underrated. He's a pop culture icon. He has had his own TV
People don't
show.
even listen to him these days.
He
Well,
is right.
no.
He is right though. A lot of people had no idea what he did before he did the Osbournes. But
Seriously? Like people didn't know? That,
no,
I think
there are
it's-
people out there that have no fucking clue what Black Sabbath was. They just know he was
Well,
the Prince of Darkness. That's it. So
yeah. Well, and you know, he is kind of old now, so
Well,
Not
you
really
know
keeping in
that
touch with
too.
I liked
younger generation.
they had a new album that came out 13. It came out last year. I thought it was decent.
I never even heard of that.
You're making me think now.
Any other
I
underrated?
dribbled.
Ray, you're 3. Do you have 3, Ray?
Nobody tell Ken. I just dribbled some beer on the couch.
I
Ken.
don't think I have
Ken.
any, but
Good.
It's
only people
horrible.
I can think of is like Taylor
Good.
Swift.
The worst possible thing.
Nobody. Shut up.
Ooh, I heard Taylor
Um,
Swift. She is definitely
Okay, so
overrated.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Hey.
I can't stand her.
She has some good songs. I mean, it's annoying.
I liked
It's
the fact that
repetitive.
she. Yeah, it is that.
It's-
I liked her that Romeo Juliet song, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Love
cute
Story.
at first, then all the X's songs that came afterwards just got really annoying.
Yeah, you
Well,
know
I
what?
think
She's
that's
starting
kind
to
of a.
she's starting to rub me as the
Go
type
ahead.
of person where she's a bit of a high maintenance, and she keeps writing all these breakup songs about all these guys she's dating. It's like maybe it's you, maybe it's not them.
I think it's kind of cute
Yeah.
that she writes a song for every boyfriend that she breaks up with, or a fuck buddy that she breaks up with, whatever it is that she does. I mean, she's country, so
I
she has to
dropped
pretend
a
to
Oh
be
piece
come
of
on!
toast
You
on
look
the
at that girl.
ground.
She does not have fuck buddies. That's the type of girl that has sex with the lights off and her socks on. Come on, man.
Oh wow.
So
I haven't watched her enough to be able to make that type of deduction. I just know I like that one song.
I mean, it's kind of like you know, she dated John Mayer for a brief time, didn't she?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that dude is like he's pulled some serious tail, and he's he was with Jennifer Aniston for a short time too, and she's another one kind of like Taylor Swift in that dating all these celebrity guys and breaking up. It's like, yeah, something tells me she's a bit of a pain in the ass.
Sick. You start hearing that song. Yeah, you's a crazy bitch.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
the way you fuck, I'm on top of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Exactly.
Exactly.
that's her.
We're talking about how high maintenance Taylor Swift must be. Same with Jennifer Aniston because they're
Yep.
always being dumped by these celebrity boyfriends of theirs.
Them two bitches are crazy bitches, but they fuck so good that that's what gets it going.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Well, I don't know about
Wow.
this.
Maybe
Like I
the
said,
guy
Taylor
just
Swift
her
looks kind of
song.
boring.
No, no one listens to them for their songs.
No.
No.
Maybe a 16 to 12-year-old girls might listen to their songs, but no one else listens to their songs.
Yeah. Wait, you just said you
It's
liked
like
the
them, and then
the
there's
Romeo
like a
and
little
Juliet
circle
song.
off to the side, and then
Yeah, the Romeo and Juliet.
Pretty
I prefer
awesome.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about her. I almost
Who
thought
is
she is kind of underrated. in a way. I mean, she has a really good voice, and she's got a pretty good stage performance. But because she was on American Idol, she's kind of
American Idol.
she has that stink about her that just no one can shake off. It's
Oh.
like, yeah, you're only popular because you won American Idol, but she's actually really good.
That's
Well,
not
is
the
it-
only
but
thing
isn't
she
the
has
point
about
of
her.
shows like that in America's Got Talent to show everyone, like, hey, here's this random talent that we found?
Yeah, but
Just-
the problem with it is that she always has this stigma of legitimacy on her because she was on American Idol, you know. Because the argument is, well, if she was so good, why did she have to go on a TV show to get found? That's
Well, some
kinda what
people
say.
are good, they just don't have the courage or the means to. Like, how do you go from
Well,
wanting
no,
to
I
sing
get what
to
you're saying, but what I'm
popular?
saying is that's the mindset of, I guess, you know, mainstream music. Why did she have to go through, you know, American Idol and through through Simon Cowell and get the record deal through the TV show? Because if she was good enough, I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that's probably their mindset, and that's kind of a hard thing to live up to. She is still, well, I don't know now because Swift is probably the most successful. Was she an Idol winner? I don't even know.
I don't think
no,
so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
She probably just fucked her way up to the top.
Okay. So Swift was, but she was on American Idol, wasn't she?
I don't know.
See,
I don't know.
Who is she?
I could have sworn
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Who's that?
Taylor Swift, the musician.
Where have you been, Nobod?
We
My
were
rock was
you just said
concrete.
you liked her stupid song about Romeo and Juliet. Now you don't know who she fucking is.
Are you taking me
Jesus,
seriously?
son.
Why do we
No,
have
he was
you
telling
on
me
these
how
things?
he liked the play.
Why are you taking me seriously?
I'm not. It's I'm
No.
trying to.
No,
Yes, take you
it's just
seriously.
fun too.
Okay, so anyway, she was probably the most successful American Idol winner, and which is great for her. Like you said, she's got a great stage presence. I think she's got a great voice, and I mean, her pop music, hasn't been that bad. I don't think she's overrated. I think she's maybe underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think she's definitely underrated. Especially, she makes a good song. It's a really good song. The last one I heard from her was that I think it was called "Catch My Breath." Like Pandora
I
just played it
remixed
one day.
that
I'm like,
song.
who is this? And I actually never
I
heard
Who
it.
is
remixed that song.
And I'm like, oh, this is. I'm like, this is Kelly Clarkson. Are you kidding me? This is really, really good. And like almost aside from that Miss Independent song, which I didn't really care for,
I love that.
almost all of her other songs that she's come out with, I've really
Dark
enjoyed
Side.
listening to them.
Dark Side.
Like- Oh yeah, that's another relatively newer one that I think is really good.
Carrie Underwood, that's the one. She's probably the most successful, I would think. She's
I think,
Yeah,
I think
that's
Kelly
what I
Clarkson
would say.
did a song with me.
I don't know, too much country. I stopped listening to country after like Shania Twain decided to stop making music.
really.
It's a sad story.
Okay, that just coincidentally happened right about the same time that 9/11 happened,
Oh,
and country shifted from being fun to being patriotic.
9/11.
Hey, that patriotic stuff is
Yeah,
Come on.
Fusion,
That
I think
kinda-
you should start singing.
I'm
kinda
okay.
killed
I'm
me.
okay with that stuff. It's the Toby Keith. America's gonna kick you in the fucking balls, Iraq. That bullshit was just stupid.
Hilarious.
You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, Toby, if you're that much of a hard ass, go ahead and fucking sign up for the military. Go out there and go to war. Go to the front line. Don't write songs. I'm Toby Keith and I'll kick your ass as Osama bin Laden. Shut up.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with country music in general. If you listen to enough of it, which when I worked at CarMax, we did listen to quite a bit of it. We would all kind of take turns picking what radio station to play, just so it was fair to everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of it just like it almost seems like its sole purpose is there to spread ignorance and to make its listeners prideful for being ignorant. You know, it's like this is the way it is, and you know we're proud of who we are, and you know we can't talk right, and we don't know anything about the real politics that are going on. We don't know anything about the environment.
And we write
just drink
YouTube
beer and we have a
comments.
good
But we
time.
don't
we
give
have
a
we have a water
damn.
tower. Yeah,
That's-
like, and we're happy the way we are. Like, do you listen to yourself? You're content to stay stuck inside this little bubble of homophobia and keeping women in the kitchen and driving your tractor and because every song that a man sings is almost always idolizing women in some way or another and it's like yeah we're happy that way. I'm like I'm seeing a common theme here and just in almost every single song it's be happy that your country. And we do things the way we've always done things, and it's always going to be that way, and it's the right way to do it because this is the way we've always been doing it. It's like they're stuck inside this little
temporal
vacuum,
loop,
and it's impossible to get them out. I remember listening to music like that when I was a kid, when my father used to listen to country music. It's the same thing. Like we're from that one song goes, "We're from the country and we like it that way." It's like that's the mentality
like
of it.
Music.
It's like, I like some of it, but the bulk of it, especially like right after 9/11, was all this self-worshipping bullshit, and it really just turned me off to it. It's like when you have so many songs that are like, oh yeah, we're awesome, and this is why we're awesome. Let me tell you why we're awesome. Listen to why I'm awesome.
Alright, who's your favorite artist, Tom? I called you Tom. It's my upset voice. It's my upset name for you.
His name's been released on the podcast. Oh my god.
Oh my god! Darkwind Dre's real name it's not actually Tom. That's not my name.
No, it's
Tom.
not.
Well, they can see it on the feed if it's HD enough.
My birth name is Thomas.
Also, you
get it right.
posted to the 4 and Third podcast Facebook. Also, some of the people of our fans know you.
Yeah, I'm not really making a big deal about it.
No, he's just kidding.
That was sarcasm.
Sarcastic arguing.
I'm gonna say if I have to say I'll just throw this in real quick. My favorite musician, of course, he's a local man, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Ray Vaughan?
Stevie Ray
Who dat?
Vaughan.
Great guitarist. His lyrics were okay, but man, he could play the blues like nobody else, man. Texas Flood is still my favorite song. Every time I go into a bar and I'm like, I'm going to be drinking my ass off tonight, I make sure that I find the music player and throw in Texas Flood every time. Opening riff is great.
I don't know what I would say is I don't really have a favorite band in general. I have a favorite type of music.
Yeah, me too.
It's not really a type of music per se. It's like thematically what the music is about. Anything that's kind of self-reflective or when it's about something that someone has gone through. Where when the artist is singing it and you can hear like real emotion, real happiness, joy, heartache, sadness, or wanting to kill somebody. When you can feel that in what they're singing.
You would love Tech Nine
then. I've not actually heard of them. Then I really like that.
Tech Nine is one of the best rappers ever.
I don't know. There's some rap that I like. In general, I tend to say I don't really like rap because of what proliferates.
Look up the song
mainstream,
"Believe" by Tech Nine.
It's too mainstream for dark.
Look up "My Haiku" by Tech Nine.
But yeah, I'd be willing to give them a listen. I'm not going to do it now, but send me a message with it in there. I'll look it up later.
Send him a message.
Send me a message, Dolvod.
He's one of those guys that he's more poetic about his writing, kind of like Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien.
His name's what? That's weirder than Waka Flocka.
You don't know who Dale, the Funky Homo...
That's weirder than Waka Flocka.
You don't know who Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien is?
That's hilarious, though.
You don't... did you ever listen to the first Gorillaz album?
Yeah, I have that.
Okay, the guy rapping, that's Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien.
Thanks for the input, David.
I had no idea.
Chaos. Sorry.
Yep.
So, he's also known as Deltron. Does it ring a bell?
Deltron?
Yeah, Deltron. Del the Funky Homo Sapien. He is actually very entertaining.
A cool thing to know about the Gorillaz, since we're talking about them, they are, I think, the second most successful virtual band in history.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Can anybody guess what the most successful successful virtual band in history is?
What country is it from?
In the world. Like,
What's considered
what the most
virtual?
successful virtual band
It's in
is.
Japan. I know it's in Japan.
If it's the thing I'm thinking of, then it probably is.
No, this is I think you guys should know this one. I think I know this one. So.
What?
Yeah,
What's
Mr.
the
Fusion
virtual
probably knows this one.
Is it not Hatsune Miku? The original?
No. That's a virtual pop star, not a virtual band.
Come on, guys, think about it. Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, the most popular band that doesn't actually exist in real life, but has albums.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, we'd all be lucky if he didn't exist. Unfortunately, he does.
No. Okay, I'm gonna give this to you.
Throw it out there.
And you're gonna face palm. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh my god.
They're so totally real. Stop ruining my childhood.
They're the most popular virtual band in history.
Yep.
And like when I found that out, I don't remember where I even found that piece of trivia out at. But I'm like, what? And I thought about it. I'm like, it makes sense. They have been making music since what?
Since
the
Nom,
1960s?
literally.
There's so many quote-unquote
More than
chipmunk
that. Maybe the
versions of
50s.
songs everywhere.
Now,
it made perfect sense once I started thinking about it. I'm like, oh yeah.
aren't members of the quote unquote members of Gorillaz, aren't most of them from Blur? From the group Blur?
I don't remember where they're all from.
I could have sworn they were. I may be wrong on that. I don't want to look it up. I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but the more I sit here and just think about it, I sound like I'm stupid. But for some reason, I was thinking it was Blur. But anyway,
I sound like that all the time. It's okay.
Yeah, Deltron, or known as Del the Funky Homo Sapien. If you remember that song, Clint Eastwood, and Rock the House, he's the guy rapping. That's him. And you should listen to some of his other shit. It's really good.
Got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless. Yeah.
What?
That was a weird song.
All of their stuff is weird.
I really liked the what's the one where they're singing about the windmill?
Wait.
The windmill.
I know what you're talking about. Fuck.
Like in the music video, they're like riding on a flying windmill.
I remember that one, but
I don't remember. I'll tell you another band that I
Twitch
really
feed,
like.
do you know the answer to this question?
Please, someone, give us this answer. Ooh, excuse me. So, another band that I really enjoy that I've not heard anything from in a long time is Blink 182.
Yes.
Didn't they recently get back together and they're touring again, aren't they?
They're cheering again.
They did.
Touring
yes.
again.
I love them.
So they're one of those bands that was kind of big, but not as big as what you'd think they would be. And they kind of vanished, and then they reappeared again, and now they're just kind of like, what happened to them?
They were kind of that rush of the early 2000s, that punk pop meshing of music, kind of like Green Day. You remember all that?
Yeah. I like Blink 182, but I don't really like Green Day.
Never been a big fan of Green Day. I just never. The first Dookie had its moments where it was catchy, but since then I haven't been. Some of their other stuff I'm not a big fan of.
I thought American Idiot was their best band, was their best album, and I still didn't really like most of the songs on it. I liked probably 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Good Charlotte was another one that was like, oh no, I cannot stomach Weezer.
But Weezer.
What's this song they did? If you want to destroy my sweater,
yeah, that's the sweater
pull this
song.
Thread as I walk away. I'm like, what the fuck?
I just
seriously,
like
guys.
Buddy Holly and oh fuck.
Hashpipe.
No, it's like fuck. Is it Hollywood or something? Beverly Hills. Thank you.
Beverly Hills.
I hate that song.
I love it.
I hate that song. That's one of those songs that gets that does that repetitive thing that just gets underneath my skin, and I want to hurt someone whenever it's playing.
So playing that now.
Apparently, me and Dark just hate each other because everything he's like, "Oh, I hate this." I'm like, I love that.
You're lucky you two aren't going on a blind date because you would just have an awful time.
Like,
I think there's more reasons for that.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be sitting there sipping on a beer and looking into her eyes so lovingly, and be like, "So Ray, I totally hate all the bands that you love."
She's like, "That's very convenient because we both like penises." Yeah, that's true too. So
we have one thing in common then.
Yeah, there you go.
At least we have something in common.
Very true.
We can use this as a bonding moment, Ray, to help us mend this rift that's forming between us with our differences in music.
Someone in the Twitch chat, the Gorillaz video with the windmills, is that Feel Good Inc?
Yes!
5 minutes
ago.
We've solved it.
You've solved the mystery.
Yeah, so there you go. You can always count on someone else to know the information.
Or to give us completely false information and trick us all.
That's possible.
Assholes.
But,
that sounds like something.
We can always go to Wikipedia to get information, and we all know how
exactly what they did.
truthful Wikipedia is.
I can see that. Oh, Ray. Something else that can help us bond. we need to talk about chaos.
Oh god.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
Yeah. See,
hold on, wait, hold on. Is your family listening right now?
I don't know.
Okay, because we don't want to talk
I'm not
about
going to talk about her vagina.
choking on vaginas this
Aww.
week. Okay?
They thought it was hilarious. They love you, Dark.
Okay, carry on, Dark. Carry on.
So,
Oh god.
apparently, your boyfriend can confuse me for you.
Oh god.
What?
David?
I'm so lost right now.
Oh, it's my phone has different threads for each person that
so does
You were
talk.
texting me for my girlish good looks.
Oh
So,
god, you didn't do what I think you did.
Whenever,
you didn't send pictures
whenever
of junk.
I get a text from someone,
He's not that fun.
I unlock it or whatever, and sometimes if I was already in messaging beforehand, it doesn't switch over to the one that just texted me, so I might write out a response or say something, and then I'm in the tired haze. Oops, I sent it to the wrong one.
That's a likely story.
I don't do that
The
often,
real reason is that Ray and I actually look a lot alike. We're both very pretty. And he just so easily confuses the two of us because he's got our pictures in his phone. And he's like, "Oh, look, there's that pretty person."
Yes, because I stare at the little tiny icons on my phone before writing out a message.
If you can't tell the difference between someone with a beard and without a beard, even on a small icon.
Yeah, I was kind of worried there for a sec. I thought you were going to say, you got a picture of his taint or something the other day, Oh, boy.
I don't even think Chaos would, take a picture like that. He's, far too reserved. Ray, does Chaos send you dirty pictures?
It's always
He's
the
not
quiet
that
ones.
fun. I keep hoping, but no. I've sent him worse than he's ever even sent me. So.
She said you're too Taylor Swifty, dude. You need to step it up a notch.
Yeah. Chaos, quit being Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Send that girl some dick pictures.
There you go.
I'll just post one on the thread for the last second before it cuts out.
Oh dear God.
Then we'd really hear Ray giggle. She just does that every so often in the background, the whole last few seconds of the podcast. All you hear is just. Is that what it takes, Ray? Ray? Ray?
She may have dropped out.
We lost her. We lost Ray.
Oh, you scared her off.
No,
God
bad
damn,
Dark.
the call dropped the worst time.
I shouldn't mention anything about taints. I knew that was my fault.
That was great. It just like silence, like fuck, and then I saw the little dot.
I thought we had actually gone too far for once.
Oh God, no.
We can't do that on this podcast.
I was like, great, we've just found our limit, folks.
Ray's giving us a silent treatment. Yeah. This is the limit. We can't go any worse than this.
Let me write this down. The line was drawn today. So
epic fail in podcast number 33.
I would it would just be the one podcast or like an actual fight breaks out.
Oh God.
We could really be like The View then.
Oh, you don't want to be like The View.
Speaking of. Well, yeah, they're always bitching and fighting and shit over each other. But I've got to tell you this. I saw a YouTube clip because YouTube suggested that I might find it funny for some reason, and I did. It was one of the chicks on The View. One of the black chicks, not Whoopi, but the one that's kind of fat.
Sherry Shepherd.
I don't know what her name is.
The short little fat one, right?
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Somehow they got on the topic of whether what was it about? Something about creationism and evolution and stuff like that. And when Whoopi asked her, he's like, "So, what do you think then? Do you think the Earth is round then, or do you think it's flat?" And she's like, I really don't know the answer to that. And they're like, so if your son came up to you and said, "Mommy, is the Earth round or is it flat?" Like, what would you tell him? He's like, "I would say, baby, we need to go find out." And that just kind of was almost jaw-dropping in its stupidity. I'm like, what? So yeah, that type of person is allowed to have a TV show or be part of a TV show. Who doesn't know that?
Yeah.
Some people shouldn't be allowed on TV. I will admit that. Chevy Chase had his own show when I was a kid. That was awful. Magic Johnson had a show. That was bad.
Oh, and in the 80s, they gave like anybody their own TV show if they were remote.
You get a TV show.
Yeah, no, seriously, Magic Johnson had his own talk show. It was hot garbage, man. It was bad.
And they also they did a lot of animated celebrity things. I think even God, I don't remember who it was now. I never watched them because they were so boring. But there were like 3 or 4 like a basketball star, baseball star, shit like that got their own TV show, animated TV shows in the 1980s that went for like 1 season and then bombed. Really? Who does this?
There was a cartoon where, I don't know if you remember this, it was a cartoon of Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
They were... Space Jam?
No, they were a superhero team. They were a superhero team where it was Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky. And they drove around on Bigfoot the monster truck. It was really weird.
Yeah, that sounds like the 80s.
Yeah. There was some good stuff that came out of the 80s, but there's a lot of weird shit that came out of the 80s.
Yeah, we'll call that growing pains.
The show was called Pro Stars. And it actually wasn't the 80s, it was 90s. 1991 is when it aired. And let's see. Originally intended to air on ESPN, the show centered around Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky fighting crime and helping children.
Oh my God.
Protecting the environment.
Yeah.
Fighting
I'll
crime.
just stick with Captain Planet.
Fighting crime.
Yes.
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
Did you ever see the Funny or Die skits with Don Cheadle as playing Captain Planet?
Nope.
I'm not sure if I've seen that skit, but I do like Funny or Die.
Oh, you gotta watch those skits. They're hilarious. He's just like a total asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just funny seeing Don Cheadle putting on this, the blue glittery face paint under, over the dark.
When your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Yeah, and he's hilarious. So yeah, you have to watch those.
The power of heart or whatever.
What did they had? Fire,
wind, water, and heart.
Yeah, fire, wind, water, and heart. I don't even know why heart was an element. I mean, that's kind of weird.
Well, each kid was from a different part of the country.
I may have seen one episode a long time ago.
Well, you know what? You're like a youngling here, so you just step out of the conversation.
Yeah, there was Kwame, who he had the power of earth. Wheeler, he was the little white boy from New York. He had the power of fire. Linka was the blonde Russian girl. She had the power of wind. I think it's Guy, the Asian girl that had the power of water.
Yeah.
And Mati was the little Brazilian boy who had heart. So it's like they were all from different parts of the world. And I think
it was very what do you call it? Inclusive.
Yes,
it was a very inclusive TV show.
Yes, it was.
Did anybody see that meme that had a side-by-side still of the Captain Planet team and the Magic School Bus team?
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
They are the same characters, just like the Magic School Bus kids grew up and became the Captain Planet kids.
Those
At least
kids
that's what she was teaching them for all along.
You know, I would really like to see how they're on this kick of remaking old TV shows into movies. I would like to see a Magic School Bus movie.
Oh, that would be, if they made it good, that would be a really nice movie.
It would be really, really awesome and kind of trippy, probably.
Well, I'm looking at the picture. It never really clicked with me. Huh.
Yeah, I never made the connection until I saw that picture. I'm like, they're onto something.
Well, I mean, it's dead on.
Yeah, this means something.
It means something. Yes. There still needs to be a new Captain Planet. I think there should have been a Captain Planet, like, I don't know, made for TV movie or something.
They have a Captain Planet movie, like for theaters, in the works, but I think it's gone into production hell.
Aww.
It was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be released in 2014. But I don't know if they're still moving forward with it or not. I haven't
like a live action or
a live action Captain
That
Planet.
would be something.
Huh. That would just, I don't know if that. I was thinking maybe like a cartoon, like an animation motion picture, but man, that seems kind of weird to me.
Put that beer down and scoot this thing over here. Let me Google it and see if it's still a thing or if it canceled it.
You're Googling on the podcast? What is this?
Movie.
Party foul number 1.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers. It's still set for 2014 on IMDb. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about it.
There is nothing on Wikipedia. I just looked.
Oh.
They just have the basic information, the Cartoon Network show, and all that stuff. So.
Images for Captain Planet movie. Ooh, that's scary. Do not Google that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea.
Memo to self: do not do an image search for Captain Planet movie.
Now everyone's gonna do it.
Is there a porn parody of Captain Planet? I figured there would be already.
Yeah,
of course.
I want to. If there is, I really want to see it. Let's see. It says on IMDb. It says the project is categorized as in development, and the data is only available on IMDb Pro, subject to change.
IMDb Pro.
I didn't even know there was a
IMDb
Pro. I guess you could pay them.
There's a paid service. And don't ask me what it offers.
So it's still a thing, I guess.
It might.
Because it's on
yes.
IMDb,
No. Maybe.
but-
I'm gonna assume that's a trick that you've posted in the chat, Ray.
Why? That's not nice.
I just have a feeling that is.
Why don't you trust me? I'm hurt.
Well, because I know Ray from Achievement Hunter trolled everybody on Twitter with a link not too long ago. So
I'm hurt.
Memo to everyone: do not trust someone named Ray.
But my name's Rachel.
They're bad people. That's true. Well, his name isn't Ray.
Note to self: do not trust anybody named Rachel.
There you go. Oh boy. So Captain Planet. Yes, that was
He's a hero.
very diverse
He's gonna
show.
take pollution down to 0.
I didn't even remember the intro. I'm surprised you
Well,
remembered
I've
that.
heard a lot of
I'm a
people
little bit
say
younger
that
than you,
part
Mr.
of it
Nation.
over and over.
That's true.
Dark, we
I
need you to
did
sing
watch
the
the
whole
movie.
thing for us right now.
It was, or I saw I watched the cartoon as a kid, and it was a very progressive cartoon. They had an episode about AIDS.
Yeah, they did.
What happened?
I don't exactly remember. I remember like there was this kid that had AIDS, and everyone was like shunning him, and they're like, "No, don't shun him. You can't catch AIDS from like they didn't want to drink from the same water fountain as him or something." And they're like, "You can't catch AIDS that way. Quit."
How do you
treating him
catch
that way."
pregnancy?
How does one get the pregnancy? Oh yeah. According to The Sims, you just look through a telescope and get abducted by aliens, and there you go, pregnancy.
So that's what you have to do.
And that, children, is how the birds and the bees happens.
I thought it was.
I've never understood
by
that.
Very
Why do they call
telescopes.
What?
No, go ahead. You were saying, why do they call it what?
Like, why the hell do they call it the birds and the bees?
It's because of the start of this speech that you're supposed to say.
What do the birds and the bees have anything to do with fucking?
Yeah.
The bee has a
Seriously.
Because
I don't know.
No, it's because of I think like the opening sentence is like something like as natural as the birds and the bees, this something, you know.
I think like the male honeybee dies after he has sex though, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the drones, they don't.
So that little phrase is awful. So naturally, you're gonna explode after you have sex.
That would be like saying, it's like the Black Widow,
Well.
the Black Widow spider. It's like, yeah.
The origin of the phrase is from musician Cole Porter. In 1928, he had a song called "Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love," and the opening line of the chorus is,
I know that song.
and that's why the birds do it, bees do
Such
it,
a horrible
even educated
song.
fleas do it.
Please do
Let's
it.
do it. Let's fall in love.
Let's fall in love. Oh, I hate that song.
My question to you is, how does a flea get said education, and where would it hang up its diploma?
This is one of the reasons I hate that song, because like they just threw words together that rhymed without thinking about the context.
Who needs context if you have content?
It's a good
I
point.
prefer Discovery Channel by Bloodhound Gang. That's a much better song to explain sex.
It is. It's actually very educational.
That's my favorite fucking song.
Don't they have a song called "I Love"? I like it when a stripper cries when she's giving me a lap dance. Is that?
Oh my god!
What?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That sounds like a song they would have.
They also have a song called "The Ballad of Chasey Lane," who is a porn star. So yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have heard that one. Yeah. What was that, Ray? You're breaking up. Please speak clearly into your microphone.
I just said that was beautiful when you said it was about a porn star.
Yeah, you don't know who Chasey Lane is?
Oh, forgive me.
Oh God, rookie.
Everybody, Google Chasey
David,
Lane
no.
now.
It's CHASEYLAYN. You will not be disappointed.
He doesn't know much as it is. Let me educate him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not education, it's teaching. Okay, I see where you're going with this. All right. Well, okay. It's all good.
My.
Oh my is right. You don't want to see new pictures of her. You just want to see the good times.
Yeah, tell Google that.
Oh, don't tell me you saw some of the news. Oh God. Yeah. No.
Like this isn't really something I'd want to be looking at anyway.
Oh well, I told you she was a porn star. You knew that was going to happen.
Oh, there's an older picture. Okay, she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
In her older stuff.
Yeah. Not so much today.
Not today.
Time has not been kind to her. Neither has the meth.
Yeah, I was to say it's not so much the time; it's the drugs, the plastic surgery.
Yep.
Just doesn't treat anybody right.
I agree.
Ugh.
Well, we're at an hour 20, guys.
We are.
Yeah.
Time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to talk about Ender's Game.
The fuck is that?
Or Thor, because I went to go see Thor. It was really good. I can bring that up real quick, or we can save it for the next podcast. Just let me know. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I still need to see Thor. So I'm actually supposed to see Thor this weekend. So let's talk about that next week.
Save it for
because
next week.
Hey, we can talk about when other things happen during the podcast.
Huh?
Okay.
What are you talking about, Chaos?
The fuck?
I think he's talking about next week. Next week we're supposed to have a nice big guest on the show.
Well, it's no secret. Nobody done and blabbed on Facebook. It's Barbara.
Yeah. Okay. All right. For those that are listening, Barbara Dunkelman will be joining the podcast next week. I know everyone that we've always, we've been very open to inviting anyone to join the podcast as long as they can record their own audio and they have a decent microphone headset combo. I'm sure now that everyone that didn't see Nobod's postings on Facebook, or him bragging about it on the Rooster Teeth website, that are hearing this,
he just won't shut up.
Everyone's gonna say, "Can I be on the show? Can I be on the show?" We already have our
panel.
The
answer is no.
Yes,
you cannot.
Yes,
be jealous.
Dark is right. We have locked. We are locked in by who's gonna be there because we just need to make sure it's not chaotic because. As much as everyone knows with the Rooster Teeth's cast and crew, they're very busy people. So we were grateful to have Caleb on a few months ago, and Barbara said she will be joining us next week. So we're definitely going to have a lot to talk about. But if Thor has to be put on the back burner for another week after that, I'm fine with that too, because we'll have plenty to talk about with Barbara. I mean, there's a lot that's wrapped up and a lot that's coming, and maybe we might,
especially with the end of the first season of RWBY.
Well, not just RWBY, but season 12 of RVB.
Yeah, everything's kind of coming to a close. So.
Well, and then we could find out what's on tap for the rest of the winter.
Getting podcast exclusive news.
Also, we may be able to pry out a little bit of information about a certain event, RTX, because we haven't heard anything yet.
God, we're like those news reporters, and tune in next week for our exclusive interview with Barbara, where we're gonna get the inside scoop on all things Rooster Teeth. Yeah,
it's Barbara from the Rooster Teeth community. Barbara, please, thank you for joining the show. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, as we always do.
So. It will be fun. Yeah, this will be awesome. I'm really looking forward to having, because the last time we had one of the Rooster Teeth guys on here, I think I had to miss it for some reason or other. So I'm actually really excited to be able to be here for this.
Wait. So you weren't here when Caleb was on with us?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think he was. It was like, I think Nova and. It was a different sort of crew.
Yeah, Nobod was there, so I felt so bad to leave Caleb with Nobod. No one deserves that.
But he actually didn't say a whole lot because I asked a lot of questions. Chaos asked a lot of questions, and was it Paige? I couldn't remember who was with us.
Wait, you guys grilled him? You didn't just let him kick back and have a good time? You were like interrogating the poor guy?
No, it wasn't anything like that.
No, it wasn't like that. We did ask I did ask a few standard interview questions, kind of related to RTX, because it was right before RTX. So I asked a few, but for the most part, we chatted with him a lot because he's a big Ultimate Frisbee guy.
Yeah,
so we just chit chatted with that and let him tell his stories, and then. Kind of just.
I actually have a friend that broke his femur while playing Ultimate Frisbee.
Well, I think he had broke his. Did he break his leg right before? No, he didn't break his leg right before he came on our podcast. I think it was a couple months before that.
Yes.
He had broke his leg and he couldn't play for a couple 2 or 3 months, and then he had just started getting back into it before RTX, I think. But no, we asked a few questions. Kind of, it's cool because Barbara, Caleb. Ray, all of these people, all of these crew members, they are all community members before, and the cool thing is it kind of just gives other people in the community the idea of, hey, maybe I can get a job with them, and I'm not saying everyone can or will, but what I'm saying is it's just interesting to know that they really value their community members so much so that if they can provide content for them, they can be a part of the business itself. And so I really wanted to ask Caleb a few questions about being, going from being, a person on the site, a fan on the site to actually being, on the staff. So we can ask kind of those questions because I think Barbara's probably her and Gavin are the most known of the long-term community members that became staff members. So maybe someday we can get Gavin on, but I highly doubt it.
That would be epic, certainly.
So, but
all we have to do is bribe.
So get ready if you those that are listening to the podcast, recorded or live, Barbara will be joining us next week. So it will be a fun time, and I promise we'll keep Nobod at a certain level. Like
we'll keep it at a certain distance, restraining orders. And all
you'll only get Nobod at probably like 80% Nobod, not the full 100% Nobod.
Yeah, and if he tries to go just 1% higher, we will disconnect him.
Yeah, we're putting a governor on him, so we don't want peak Nobod. We can't have that.
No. We may have another guest too, but that's still in the works, possibly. That'll be a surprise.
Yeah, those that are in the works, we're kind of just leaving them as in the works. We don't want to jinx it.
All right, guys, it has been fun. We will see you next week. Thank you for all you guys that are listening in on Twitch right now and who will be listening later streaming us live. Streaming us recorded. Let me correct that before I make myself sound even more like an idiot. We will see you next week. Doc One Dre out.
Good night.